You're good.
Cassville Art Education class 2D, Art 2D. We're here with the second film for the box drawings. And we've kind of switched up the box still life a little bit by just casting a light from a light source on it. And what we're after is shadows and shading. Okay, so you see with the light cast on there, it's putting some shadows and some shading on the boxes in order for us to put that down on paper and get an idea of what shading and light source is. Okay, so basically what we're going to do is we're going to take a piece of charcoal. Okay, so we have some charcoal, and this is just some square charcoal. There is a lot of different styles of charcoal. We have some little stick charcoal. We have some different sizes of this square charcoal, some small, some large. And this is kind of a medium size. So here you can see there's like a small. Okay, and I always like to use like the bigger pieces of charcoal. You can also, there's also different hardnesses and softnesses of the charcoal itself. So just keep all that in mind. But we're just using like a medium style charcoal, fairly medium size piece of it. Right, in the drawing bag that we've been using, there's an eraser. Okay, and we're also inside here. There's some smear sticks, and they're just basically a rolled up piece of paper. Okay, and you can clean these up by just taking them to the piece of sandpaper. I have some sandpaper in a desk drawer, so just ask me for that. And you just scratch these on sandpaper, and it'll clean them up so that it continues not to smear the charcoal that you're using if you're to move to different media like pencil or something like that. Okay. These also can be used just as a drawing tool. So once there's some charcoal or lead on this thing, you can take and you can actually just also draw with that. Okay. We want this to smear up the chalk or the charcoal. You can also just use like your finger to smear it, and I'll show you all this. Okay. And we also going to have an eraser here. I also have some erasers that they look like kind of like a Play-Doh type, and you can smash them around and stuff. We use those also. I just don't have one out here to show, but you can use those to help erase. The nice thing about those is you can turn it, smash it into the inside, and it gives you a clean surface on the outside. So they're kind of nice to use, whereas this one here won't do that. Okay? All right, so basically what I want to do is I just want to take these boxes, and I'm just going to draw the boxes like we did in the first activity with the pencils. All right? And then I'm going to come in, I'm going to look at where the light is casted bright and where it's casting dark. Okay, so the shadow is casting over it. So for instance, you look at this box right here on top, and we see the light source is casting a really bright light on the very top rectangular piece of this box, okay? And then we go to like a side rectangular piece, and you see it starts getting shadowed, okay? But the shadow is lighter up here towards the top of this rectangular side piece, and it gets darker down towards the bottom. So we're going to try to mimic that, all right? Again, making it dark on top, or light on top. You can see here where like the flap of this box sticks up. You can see the dark shadow underneath that. We also want to draw that in, okay? So any darkness and lightnesses you see as far as the light casting down on the box, that's what we want to try to perform on our piece of paper. Okay, so I'm just going to roughly with this charcoal sketch some of these boxes in. Okay, now when you're drawing with this stuff, you don't have to push real hard, okay? Because it's it's soft. It's way softer than the pencil. All right, so just nice and easy with it. And again, we're just sketching these boxes in just like we do with the pencil. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3 boxes sketched in. All right, now I'm going to take and I'm going to try to, again, do this light casting on here. All right. I may want to come in here, depending on how much time you have when we do time drawings. Okay, I may want to come in here and draw the flaps on the top of the box, right? Okay, so that I can come in and underneath do a drop shadow underneath. All right. Now you see how I can go from drawing with the end of the chalk to then putting charcoal in with the side. Okay, and I'm just going to start light on the upper end of this rectangle, and I'm going to go darker as I go down through, getting real dark as it goes towards the end of it. Okay, again, I can use fingers to smear this. Okay, I can use erasers to make it lighter. Okay, come back in and make sure you see my lines after I smear it with my finger. Alright, again, if I'm looking at the side of this box, I see lighter on the top, a little bit darker at the bottom. Okay, so I'm just going to start off with my charcoal. And again, I'm holding it sideways, so I'm going to start off, come in here. And I actually see it's darker towards the center because the box kind of protrudes out three-dimensional. So again, with shading, we're going to be able to make it look more three-dimensional also. Alright, it's just kind of like sketching like I was before. Now definitely keep in mind that when you're using the charcoal and if you're using your hand for smearing, okay, again I can use this smear stick too. So if you're using your hand, keep in mind that it is on your hand, right? Okay, keep in mind that it is on your hand. And if you go and you accidentally touch your skin, you see what happens. Okay. So keep in mind that it's on your hand. Alright. If you have questions at this point, make sure you ask any questions. Cleanup is very, fairly simple. Just make sure that the products go back in the bag so that they're not laying out on the tables, getting this charcoal all over. Charcoal goes back in the box, and make sure that you pick your paper up, put it up in your cutty hole. We can spray this with a spray fixative, which will allow it to stick down and then it won't peel off in your fingers and whatnot. And then of course, if your table gets charcoal on it, make sure you clean up the table with a rag that we have available here in the art room. Okay, and of course wash your hands and face. Done.